Captain Liam Rain stared out of the wide observation window of the starship horizon, watching the swirling colors of the Arendor system. The planets gleamed like jewels in the darkness, each one unique. He had seen many stars in his career, but something about this system felt different. It was peaceful, yet alive, humming with an energy he could almost feel. Humanity had come far, spreading across nearby systems, but the Arendor Empire was a new challenge. They were known for their intelligence and strict traditions, and humans were considered unpredictable. "Captain, we're approaching the station," said Lieutenant Mara Voss, breaking his thoughts. Her voice was steady, as always. She had been with Liam for years, and he trusted her judgment more than anyone else's. Liam nodded. "Very well. Let's hope the ambassadors are ready for humans." The space station loomed before them, a vast structure orbiting the planet Arendor, shining with polished metal and lights. It looked both grand and delicate, like it had been built to impress and intimidate at the same time. The humans' shuttle docked smoothly, and they were greeted by the station's attendants, tall beings with pale blue skin and eyes that seemed to glow faintly. "Welcome to Arendor Station, humans," said one of the attendants, bowing slightly. "The princess will see you shortly." Liam felt a thrill of anticipation. The Arendor Empire rarely allowed outsiders to meet their royalty, and now he would meet Princess Althera herself. He had heard stories. She was not only beautiful but brilliant, known for her wisdom and tact. Humans were often intimidated by her presence. Liam, however, had faced many situations where courage and quick thinking mattered more than fear. They entered a large hall adorned with hanging crystals that refracted light in countless colors. The room was silent, except for the soft hum of energy flowing through the walls. Liam's team followed closely behind him, trying to appear calm, though their eyes darted to every detail. And then she appeared, Princess Althera. She was taller than humans, her movements graceful and precise. Her skin shimmered softly under the light, like moonlight on water, and her eyes were a deep violet, filled with intelligence and something else Liam could not immediately define, something vulnerable. "Captain Rain," she said, her voice soft yet commanding. "You have traveled far to reach us." Liam bowed slightly. "It is an honor, Princess Althera. Humanity is eager to learn about your people and to establish friendship." Althera's eyes flickered, as if searching for something in him. "Friendship is complicated," she said. Her words were quiet, almost a whisper. Liam leaned closer, intrigued by her tone. "Complicated?" he asked. She hesitated. Her hands, long and delicate, rested on the railing beside her. "Humans. They feel too much," she said finally. "They attach too quickly. They love without understanding the consequences. Please, do not love me." The words struck Liam in a way he did not expect. There was no malice in her warning, only caution, as if she were trying to protect him, and perhaps herself. Yet, instead of stepping back, Liam felt a pull of curiosity. Who was this alien princess who spoke of love as a danger? "I will listen to your caution," Liam said carefully, "but humans are also capable of understanding and respect. That is how we learn." Althera studied him for a long moment. The tension between them was almost tangible. Then she nodded, a small, almost imperceptible gesture. "Very well. We shall see if your species is wise enough to prove its intentions." The attendants guided them to a separate room where they would conduct discussions about trade, exploration, and alliances. Liam noticed that the room itself seemed alive. The walls responded to movement, projecting soft images of distant galaxies and star maps. Technology here was unlike anything humans had seen. As the talks began, Liam observed Althera closely. She spoke with clarity and logic, asking questions about human technology, ethics, and culture. Her intelligence was sharp, but there was a subtle warmth in the way she listened, a curiosity that matched his own. Humans often relied on emotion and instinct, and Liam wondered if she had ever encountered such direct honesty from an outsider. During a short break, Liam found himself walking along the balcony outside the discussion room. The planet below shimmered with green forests and silver cities. Althea joined him silently, and for a moment, they just watched the world beneath them. "You humans are different," she said finally. "Your people are not like others we have met. You risk your safety for others, and you take joy in small things even when the stakes are high." Liam smiled faintly. "That is true. We care for one another. It is what gives us strength, even in dangerous situations." Althea's gaze softened, but her voice was still tinged with hesitation. "Strength can be dangerous. That is why I warn you. Love is not safe. Not for you. Not for me." Liam nodded, understanding her words but feeling a strange sense of admiration for her honesty. "I will respect your caution," he said, "but I will not turn away from understanding you. Humans believe that trust and knowledge are stronger than fear." For the first time, Althea smiled, though it was a small, reserved smile. It was the kind of smile that could be missed if one blinked. It carried a mixture of hope and fear. The discussion resumed, but Liam noticed subtle changes in how the delegates interacted. Humans, with their curiosity and determination, were earning attention. Even the most skeptical aliens were observing the humans closely, noting how they approached problems with creativity and collaboration. Liam realized that he was witnessing the beginning of something significant, not just diplomatic talks, but the planting of seeds that could change perceptions of humanity forever. At the end of the day, as the humans prepared to return to their ship, Althea approached Liam one last time. "Captain Rain," she said softly, "you are unlike other humans. Perhaps you will survive where others fail." "And perhaps humans can learn from your people as well," Liam replied. Her violet eyes held his gaze for a moment longer, and then she turned and disappeared into the hall. Liam felt a strange mixture of triumph and curiosity. This was only the beginning. Humanity had arrived, not with force, but with courage, ingenuity, and respect. And already, he could see that his own encounter with the alien princess would challenge everything he thought he knew about diplomacy, connection, and even love. As the shuttle lifted off from the station, Liam looked back at the glowing world of Arendor and the figure of the princess fading into the distance. A quiet thought lingered in his mind. This is more than a mission. This is a chance to show that humanity is more than survival. It is potential, hope, and a spirit that can inspire even the most cautious of hearts. And somewhere in the far reaches of space, Princess Althea thought the same. Humans were unpredictable, bold, and perhaps, just perhaps, worthy of trust. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and Liam knew that after leaving Arendor Station, Captain Liam Rain and his team returned to the horizon. But the memory of Princess Althea lingered in his mind. Her warning, "Please, do not love me," had not scared him. Instead, it had sparked a curiosity he could not ignore. She was cautious, yet there was something in her eyes that suggested a longing to understand, to connect. Liam knew humans could bridge gaps where fear and tradition had built walls. The team spent the next few days analyzing the data they had collected from the station and the planet below. Arendor was technologically advanced, but their systems were rigid and highly controlled. Their cities ran like clockwork, with energy flowing seamlessly, but their society was also strict, emphasizing duty over personal desire. Liam realized that if humans wanted to form a true bond with them, they would have to understand the alien mindset first. Lieutenant Mara Voss leaned over a console. "Captain, the princess's people are very cautious. They observe before trusting. We can't push too quickly." "I understand," Liam said, "but observing isn't enough. We need to show them what humans can do, how we think, how we solve problems, how we protect and help. That is how we earn respect." A few days later, Liam arranged a request for a small, controlled visit to Arendor's capital city. To everyone's surprise, the princess personally approved it. The humans were allowed to enter one of the smaller districts under strict supervision. When they arrived, Liam could see the contrast with the station. The streets were alive with alien citizens going about their routines. They moved gracefully, with a calm and quiet purpose. The buildings were tall, with flowing designs, glowing softly in shades of blue and silver. Yet the city felt distant, as if personal expression had been subdued for the sake of order. Princess Althera met them at the landing platform, her expression neutral. "You are brave to come here, humans," she said. "Few outsiders are allowed within the inner city. Observe carefully, and do not interfere with our customs." Liam bowed. "We respect your rules. We are here to learn, not to impose." For hours they walked through the city. Liam was struck by the efficiency and elegance of the systems, but he also noticed the lack of warmth between its citizens. There was harmony, yes, but it was the harmony of duty rather than choice. At one point, a mechanical transport system malfunctioned. An automated cart had stopped in the middle of a busy intersection. The alien engineers were unsure how to fix it quickly, constrained by their protocols. Liam stepped forward. "May I try?" he asked politely. Althera's eyes widened slightly. "You may attempt, but do so carefully." With careful movements, Liam examined the mechanism. Using tools from his kit and some quick adjustments, he managed to restart the system within minutes. The cart moved smoothly again, and the people around paused, then nodded in approval. Althera's expression was unreadable at first. Then she turned to him, her voice quieter than before. "You did what we could not, and you did it without arrogance. Humans, you are unusual." Liam smiled. "Unusual can be useful," he said lightly. "Sometimes rules are good, but sometimes ingenuity is better." Althera studied him, and for the first time, Liam sensed a flicker of admiration. It was brief, but it was there. She was beginning to see that humans were not merely chaotic or reckless. They could be intelligent, careful, and effective. Over the next few days, Liam and his team continued their visits, learning more about Arendor's culture. They discovered a society that valued knowledge above emotion, but Liam saw the limitations this created. Citizens rarely acted outside their assigned roles, and personal connection was often discouraged. Humans, by contrast, thrived on collaboration, creativity, and empathy. Althera gradually allowed herself to spend more time with Liam outside formal settings. They walked in quiet gardens, where glowing plants reflected soft light, and watched the twin moons rise above the horizon. She spoke cautiously about her life and her people's history, revealing a deep fear of attachment. "Our species survives by avoiding bonds with outsiders. Love, care. These are dangerous. They distract. They create weakness." Liam listened, patient and respectful. "I understand," he said. "But humans believe that understanding and connection are not weakness. They are strength. We take risks, yes, but we also gain wisdom and courage from trust and friendship." For hours, they discussed philosophy, ethics, and the ways of different species in the galaxy. Liam shared stories of humanity's history, how humans had survived natural disasters, disease, and conflict, often relying on creativity, collaboration, and moral courage. Althera listened with fascination, occasionally asking questions that revealed her curiosity about human emotion and decision-making. One evening, While walking through a garden illuminated by bioluminescent flowers, Althea spoke softly, almost to herself. Humans, you surprise me. You take responsibility for others even when it is dangerous. You care for things beyond yourself. Perhaps this is why I warned you. Liam looked at her, his voice gentle. And perhaps it is why we are worth knowing. You fear attachment because it is new to your people. But new experiences can lead to growth, understanding, and courage. Her gaze fell to the glowing paths beneath their feet. She said nothing for a long moment, and Liam understood that she was wrestling with her feelings. Fear, admiration, curiosity, and caution all mixed together. Days turned into a week, and humans began to gain respect in subtle ways. Other alien delegates noticed the success of Liam's team in problem-solving, diplomacy, and understanding Arendor's systems. Humans were proving themselves capable not by dominance, but by intellect, empathy, and courage. Althea herself began to reconsider some of her assumptions. The rigid barriers her people had built around emotions and attachments seemed less necessary in the presence of humans like Liam. She saw that humanity's strengths could complement her people's discipline and wisdom. Then, an incident occurred that tested both humans and Arendor citizens. A sudden energy fluctuation in the city's main grid caused partial darkness in several districts. Panic began to spread among the citizens. Althea's advisors moved quickly, but they were constrained by strict protocols that slowed their response. Liam, without hesitation, coordinated with his team to stabilize the energy flow using both human ingenuity and available Arendor technology. The crisis was brief, but significant. When the lights returned and normalcy resumed, Althea's expression reflected something new: pride. Not pride in herself, but in Liam and the humans' ability to act decisively, to solve problems creatively, and to help others without waiting for permission. "You humans," she said quietly after the crowd dispersed, "you show courage and cleverness, but also care. Perhaps your people are different from what I believed." Liam nodded. "We are different, but different can be a strength, and if we work together, we can achieve more than either species could alone." For a moment, Althea looked away, as if hiding her thoughts. Then she met his gaze again, and there was a subtle warmth in her violet eyes. "Perhaps. Yes, perhaps you are right." As Liam and his team prepared to leave the city, Althea stepped forward. "Captain Rain, humans are unpredictable. You surprise me. You challenge my people's beliefs, and yet I find myself curious. Perhaps this is dangerous, but perhaps it is necessary." Liam smiled. "Curiosity is never dangerous. It is how progress begins." As their shuttle lifted off, Liam looked down at the glowing city below. Humanity had already made a small mark here, not by conquest, but by showing intelligence, empathy, and courage. And for the first time, he realized that the bond forming between himself and the alien princess was more than just curiosity. It was a connection built on mutual respect, admiration, and understanding. Althea watched the shuttle disappear into the stars. Her heart felt something she had not felt before, a mixture of admiration, caution, and possibility. Humans were bold, clever, and compassionate, and she could no longer deny the spark that had begun to grow between them. The stars above seemed endless, but Liam and Althea both understood one thing clearly. The divide between their species was not as unbridgeable as it had once seemed, and in the days to come, that divide would be tested, challenged, and perhaps transformed. The calm days in Arendor did not last long. Just as Liam and his team were beginning to feel comfortable among the alien citizens, a sudden alert rang through the capital city. The main energy network, which powered the city's transportation, communication, and defensive systems, experienced an unexpected fluctuation. For the first time in decades, several districts plunged into darkness. Panic spread quickly. Arendor citizens, though disciplined, were unprepared for such chaos. Their protocols, usually precise and flawless, slowed their response. Althera rushed to the command center, her violet eyes sharp with concern. She called for her advisors, but even they hesitated, bound by rules that restricted action without council approval. Liam, observing the growing disorder, acted instinctively. "We can help," he said to Althera. "If your systems allow some flexibility, we can stabilize the energy network before it spreads further." Althera glanced at him, her eyes widening. "You will attempt it? It is dangerous. It is outside our regulations." Liam smiled faintly, a mix of determination and reassurance. "Sometimes following regulations slows action. Humans act when necessary. I promise we will be careful." With a nod from the princess, Liam and his team quickly moved to the central control hub. The hum of the city's machinery filled the room, accompanied by flickering lights and a low vibration underfoot. Liam immediately began assessing the system. Unlike Arendor engineers, who strictly followed set protocols, humans were trained to improvise. Liam quickly identified the source of the fluctuation, a misalignment in the primary energy conduits caused by a rare surge from the nearby star. "Lieutenant Voss," Liam said, "we need to reroute the secondary conduits and manually stabilize the main network. Can your team assist?" Mara nodded. "We can. Let's do this." Hours passed as humans and select Arendor technicians worked side by side. Liam's team displayed patience, coordination, and ingenuity. They combined human problem-solving with alien technology, devising solutions that had never been considered by the strict protocols of Arendor engineers. Gradually, the network stabilized, lights flickered back on, vehicles resumed movement, and the hum of the city returned to a steady rhythm. Althera watched in awe. Her heart raced, not with fear, but with admiration. Humans had risked their safety, faced the unknown, and solved a problem that had stumped her people's best engineers. For the first time, she realized that humans did not need strict rules to act responsibly. They used intelligence, observation, and courage. After the crisis, Althera approached Liam in a quiet chamber of the palace. "Captain Rain," she said, her voice soft, "you have done what my people could not. You have risked yourself for others, and yet, without seeking glory, humans are remarkable." Liam shook his head slightly. "We do what is right. It is not about glory, it is about responsibility. Every life matters, every action counts. That is what we have learned on Earth, and it is what we practice in space." Althera looked down, a small smile touching her lips. "Perhaps. That is why I warned you not to love me. Your people's courage, their willingness to connect, it challenges everything I have known. I do not know if I can resist it." Liam reached out, careful not to overstep. "Princess, you are wise to caution yourself. But humans also understand restraint. Connection does not mean weakness. It can be strength. It is how we survive, how we thrive, and how we build trust." Her violet eyes met his, and for a moment, silence spoke louder than words. There was tension, yes, but also understanding. Humans had proven that they could be allies, protectors, and problem solvers. Althera realized that Liam was not like other outsiders. He respected boundaries, yet inspired trust and admiration. In the following days, the humans were given more freedom to work with the Arendor citizens. Liam suggested improvements to the city's emergency response protocols, blending human flexibility with Arendor discipline. The results were astonishing. For the first time, citizens of the capital realized that humans were not chaotic or reckless. They could enhance systems, inspire collaboration, and solve problems in ways previously unimagined. Althea observed quietly, often walking alongside Liam as he demonstrated new strategies. She began to notice small gestures of care and thoughtfulness, how humans encouraged others, how they noticed small details that mattered, how they remained calm under pressure. She had warned herself to avoid attachment, yet every interaction made her admiration and curiosity grow. One evening, while reviewing the new energy protocols in a balcony garden, Althea spoke quietly. "Captain Rain, humans are different from anything I have known. Your species is fearless, yet thoughtful. You take risks, but you do so with care, and somehow, you make others believe they can be better." Liam smiled. "We believe that anyone can improve if they are given trust and encouragement. Strength is not only in power, it is in kindness, understanding, and determination." Althea's gaze drifted to the glowing city below. "I see now. Perhaps my people have been too cautious. We have avoided attachment, avoided risk, but in doing so, we have limited ourselves. Your people, you show us that caution alone is not enough." Liam nodded. "Balance is key. You do not need to abandon caution entirely, but by combining wisdom with courage and connection, much more can be achieved." The princess looked at him, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fear, respect, and something else she did not name. "I warned you, and yet I find myself intrigued. Humans, you challenge everything I have believed. Perhaps this is why I cannot ignore you." Before Liam could respond, an urgent message arrived from the outer sectors. A rival faction, known for attempting to disrupt peaceful alliances, had detected human presence and viewed it as a threat. Reports indicated that a small fleet was moving toward Arendor. While the threat was not immediate, it was a reminder that humans and Arendor were not alone in the galaxy, and that their actions could have consequences far beyond the city. Liam turned to Althea. "We will face this together, Princess. Humans do not flee from challenges. They adapt, learn, and protect. If your people allow us, we can prepare for what is coming." Althea hesitated, then nodded. "Very well, Captain Rain. But be careful. The galaxy is not as safe as your confidence suggests." Liam smiled, a calm determination in his eyes. "Safety is relative. Courage and intelligence can make even the most dangerous situations manageable." As the stars stretched above the city, Liam realized that this was the moment when humanity's true strength became visible, not in domination, but in courage, creativity, and connection. Humans had proven themselves to the alien princess, to the citizens of Arendor, and even to themselves. Althea watched him silently, her mind and heart in quiet conflict. Humans were fearless, compassionate, and clever. They inspired hope, yet their boldness stirred emotions she had spent her life avoiding. Liam Rain was not merely a human explorer. He was a symbol of humanity's potential, of what could be achieved when intelligence met empathy, when courage met understanding. The chapter of calm had ended, replaced by a future filled with uncertainty and opportunity. Liam understood that more challenges were coming, but he felt ready. Humans had survived wars, natural disasters, and the unknown dangers of space. They would survive this too, through unity, wisdom, and courage. As the night deepened, Liam and Althea stood side by side on the balcony, gazing at the stars. Neither spoke, yet both understood a truth that transcended words. Humans could inspire change, and perhaps even touch hearts thought unreachable. In the distance, the approaching fleet represented a new challenge, but it also offered a chance, an opportunity for humans and Arendor to demonstrate collaboration, trust, and courage. The galaxy was vast, but humanity's spirit had already begun to shine across the stars. And somewhere deep within the palace, Princess Althera whispered to herself, almost involuntarily, "Humans, perhaps they are worth trusting, even worth loving." The galaxy seemed larger and more dangerous than ever, as reports confirmed the arrival of the rival fleet. Though the ships were smaller in number, their technology was unpredictable, and their tactics cunning. The citizens of Arendor, while disciplined, had never faced such a challenge, and uncertainty filled the air. Captain Liam Rain stood on the bridge of the horizon, studying the star map. His team was tense but prepared. He knew that victory would not come from sheer power alone. It would come from human ingenuity, collaboration, and the ability to think differently when rules and routines failed. Princess Althera arrived aboard the horizon, escorted by her advisors. She walked with quiet grace, her violet eyes reflecting determination and concern. For the first time, she trusted humans with not just her city, but her people. "Captain Rain," she said softly, "the fleet approaches. Your people have shown courage, but now they will face true danger." Liam nodded. "We do not face danger for glory, Princess. We face it to protect life. That is our strength, and it is what we can share with your people." Althera studied him. "I have seen your people act when rules bind others. You think quickly and you care deeply. Perhaps this is why humans survive where others fear failure." Outside the observation window, the rival fleet appeared, dark silhouettes against the starlit void. Their ships moved with precision, preparing to strike key cities on Arendor. Althera's advisors voiced concerns about engaging without following strict protocols, but she held up a hand. "Captain Rain, you lead this. Show us what humans can do." The battle began not with weapons, but with strategy. Liam coordinated a clever use of the city's energy networks, redirecting power to defensive shields and automated transport systems. Humans and Arendor engineers worked side by side, improvising solutions to counterattacks that the aliens had never anticipated. Liam observed the enemy's movements carefully, noting their patterns. They expect fear. They expect hesitation. They do not expect courage combined with intelligence, he said. As the first attack hit, the human-led strategies succeeded brilliantly. Shields redirected energy, transport systems moved citizens to safety, and small countermeasures disabled enemy ships without causing unnecessary destruction. The rival fleet was forced to adjust, confused by tactics that did not follow conventional patterns. Althera watched in awe. Liam's leadership was precise, calm, and clever. Humans did not charge blindly. They calculated, observed, and acted with purpose. And yet, they cared. They were not willing to sacrifice life recklessly, but were willing to risk themselves for others. During a brief lull, Liam met with Althera on the bridge. "Princess, your people's systems are strong, but rigid. By combining discipline with flexible thinking, we can protect the cities and perhaps end this conflict quickly." Althera nodded. "I see now. Humans inspire action, not just obedience. You teach my people that courage and care can work together." The battle intensified, but the humans' unconventional strategies gave Arendor the upper hand. Liam directed drones to mislead enemy sensors, rerouted energy to strengthen defensive nodes, and coordinated evacuations with precision. The rival fleet, frustrated and unable to anticipate the humans' moves, began to retreat. As the final enemy ships pulled away, Althera felt a surge of relief and admiration. Humanity had not only protected her people, but had done so without arrogance or recklessness. The citizens of Arendor, once reserved and cautious, looked at the humans with newfound respect and gratitude. After the battle, the city celebrated in quiet, dignified ways. Humans did not seek applause, but their actions had spoken louder than words. Liam and his team were hailed as heroes, not because they dominated, but because they demonstrated the power of courage, intelligence, and empathy. Althea approached Liam privately in the palace gardens, illuminated by soft moonlight. Her expression was calm, but her eyes betrayed emotion she rarely allowed herself to show. "Captain Rain," she said softly, "you have done more than protect my people. You have shown us that strength is not only in obedience or caution. It is in courage, understanding, and the willingness to act for the good of others." Liam smiled gently. "We do what we believe is right, Princess. That is what defines humanity. We survive not only by intelligence, but by caring for each other, by facing fear and uncertainty together." Althea's gaze fell to the glowing paths beneath their feet. "I warned you not to love me, and yet I see now that humans are worth trusting, worth learning from, perhaps worth something more." Liam looked at her with quiet sincerity. "Princess, I will respect your caution. But humans also believe in connection. Trust and understanding are not weaknesses. They are the greatest strengths we have." For a long moment, neither spoke. The wind carried soft scents of alien flowers, and the twin moons reflected light across the city. Both understood that the bond between their peoples, and perhaps between themselves, was no longer defined by fear, but by respect, admiration, and possibility. In the days that followed, Arendor underwent subtle yet meaningful change. Citizens began to adopt small elements of human problem-solving, cooperation, and empathy into their routines. Humans had not imposed their ways. They had inspired new ideas through action. The rigid divide between species began to soften, replaced by collaboration and curiosity. Althea herself spent more time with Liam, discussing philosophy, science, and culture. She still warned herself to maintain caution, but she could not ignore the spark of admiration and connection growing within her. Humans had shown her that emotion could coexist with discipline, that courage could exist alongside wisdom, and that love, while unpredictable, was not necessarily dangerous. One evening, standing together on a balcony overlooking the city, Althea spoke quietly. "Captain Rain, humans have changed my view of the galaxy. You show us that caution and courage, wisdom and compassion can all exist together. Perhaps this is what progress looks like." Liam nodded. "And perhaps it is how civilizations can thrive. The galaxy is vast, Princess, and there is much to learn. But humanity is ready to face the unknown, to protect, to create, and to inspire. That is what we offer, and that is what we hope to share with your people." Althea looked at him, her eyes reflecting both the moons and something deeper: hope, respect, and perhaps a quiet affection. "I see now," she whispered. "Perhaps humans are not only survivors, but teachers. Perhaps they are friends, and perhaps I can learn from them in ways I never imagined." The stars above stretched endlessly, but the light of humanity shone brightly across the city below. Liam realized that this was more than a victory against an external threat. It was proof that humans could inspire change, earn trust, and build bonds across species, not through domination, but through intelligence, courage, and empathy. As the city celebrated quietly, Althea stood beside him, feeling something new. Humans had proven their worth not through power, but through heart. She understood now that the warning she had once given, "Do not love me," was less important than the lesson humanity had shown. Connection and courage could transform fear into understanding, isolation into unity, and tradition into hope. Liam and Althea looked out together at the horizon, where the stars twinkled like scattered jewels. In that quiet moment, both understood a truth that would guide them and their peoples. Humanity's spirit was a force that could touch hearts, inspire minds, and reshape the galaxy, not through conquest, but through courage, empathy, and brilliance. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges and wonders yet unseen. But humanity had arrived, not with weapons or threats, but with hope, intelligence, and the courage to act. And somewhere deep within her heart, Princess Althera smiled, finally letting herself believe that humans, this bold, remarkable species, were truly worthy of trust, and perhaps of love. And so, with the stars above as witnesses, humanity's story in the Arendor system entered a new chapter, one of alliance, respect, and hope for the future.